Okay, my Zatima's fans, let's get into this fiery episode from Thursday. Season 3, episode 7 and 8 was on fire, people. Let's just get started on this episode. I just want to squeeze this in real quick. I think that the acting in Zatima has been awesome this season. I love this whole storyline. It's going together very well. Some of the episodes, I think the last episode was a little slow motion, but it geared up for us to get ready for 7 and 8. So I appreciated that. So let's now get into this episode. So we come back from ZAC now finding Fatima. He comes to his old area and everybody's sitting around. You got Belinda, you got Connie, you got Nate, and who else is there? Connie, Belinda, and Nate, and Tony wasn't there, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see Tony. Is Tony there? Tony may be there. He might have been there. But Zach approaches Fatima and now he wants to talk to her about exactly what happened with her and Jeremiah. Now, mind you, people, and Nate has already told Zach what happened with Jeremiah. He said Jeremiah pushed her or whatever the case may be. Now, which was true. I mean, well, I guess she flipped or whatever, but he was trying to take her purse. Now, Zach goes up to Fatima and he wants to know the truth. He like, tell me the truth. But see, this is the thing, people. Zach has to understand Fatima is pregnant, right? So Fatima is pregnant. So of course she doesn't want to give him information that would have him jeopardize his relationship, his freedom first and foremost, and his relationship with her. And they are getting ready to have a child. So of course she's gonna do everything in her power to make sure he could be around to see her child grow up. Like the boy used to be, but he was in jail. He was already locked up. She knows that he can't afford to get in any trouble. He has her baby. He has Michael, and from what we know for right now, he has the two twins with one of the twins with Karen. Okay. So, as people feel like in a relationship, you shouldn't hide things, but you should hide things that you know that will jeopardize your partner's freedom, though. You should definitely do that. If it's not something that he didn't put her in a hospital or anything, so I understand why she wanted to keep it from him. And if you have a significant other that you care about their freedom and what might happen, I think anyone would do that. So I get that part in this episode. After she gives Zach this partial information on what happens, Zach now is pissed off. He leaves. After he leaves, Nate and Belinda start to discuss what's going on and how they can help Zach or stop him. Belinda, thirsty behind, is so busy trying to sabotage their relationship, Zach and Fatima relationship. She's like, oh yeah, maybe we should go find Jeremiah so we can help him. She's full of it. Okay. So after that part goes off, we go into this little quick part with Angela and Bryce. And they decide that they're going to be friends, and that's where it's going to stay at. Bryce starts to talk about how attractive Angela's new friend is. So we already know Bryce is probably on the other side. You know what I mean. So, but they developed, talk about just developing a friendship, and not romantic relationship, right? Because Angela is totally turned off from that part, finding out that he, tried to kiss Zach and everything. So then Zach runs into Nate. Okay, Zach runs into Nate. Nate tries to stop him again. I mean, Nate is fighting for their relationship more than Zach is at this point. I'm sorry. Tony is fighting for Zach's freedom more than Zach is at this point. Okay, Tony is on top of it. Tony is going here, going there. Connie's telling him to find him. He's going all over the place. Zach gives him the business in the conversation. Like, listen, you didn't want to tell me what was going on, so don't try to discuss it with me now. That leads from there. Zach, Fatima now tries to call Connie and talk to Connie about where Zach might have went, and they need to basically hide Jeremiah. Then we go to Zach going to the barbershop to talk to Tyrone. Now, Tyrone gave Zach some good advice. And I felt like that episode was a really strong episode between two black men. And I really enjoyed that because he was trying to really talk him down and let him know, like, you're going to jeopardize your whole relationship, your whole life, and your freedom if something happens to this man, which is your brother, and you put your hands on him and he happens to not make it, you will be going to jail for murder. And that is not what you want, getting ready to get married and have a child with the love of you say is the love of your life. So Zach is not trying to hear any of that. Let me just say that. He is like, listen, I'm putting hands on him before I go to jail. So that was Zach's whole thought in his head. So Tyrone talking to him didn't work. After Zach leaves, he runs into Tony again. Tony is still trying to convince him to not jeopardize his freedom. I don't know how many times Tony has to tell Zach this in these episodes, but he's down for Zach. He really is. Zach is not trying to hear it again, and Zach pulls off. But then we go back to Belinda and Nate. Belinda and Nate now have and Jeremiah. Nate is trying to hide Jeremiah somewhere until he sober up. So they decide to take Jeremiah to Belinda's house. Now, when they get Jeremiah to Belinda's house, sneaky, messy Belinda now decides to call Zach and leave a message for Zach and let him know that Jeremiah is at her house. Now, people, this is how, if you didn't see the episode, this is how Zach knew where Jeremiah was. But my only thing is, Belinda called Zach. Zach clearly didn't answer. He got her number blocked or something because she went straight to voicemail. She leaves the message. But then Belinda calls somebody else. I don't know who it was. She calls somebody else and said, hey, do you still speak to Zach? And can you let him know that his brother is at my house? Now, I'm like, who the hell did she call and tell that to? That's the part I'm trying to figure out, because when Zach now comes to the house, he says, now you called me here talking to Belinda, but did he hear the message from Belinda, or did he get the message from the person Belinda called to tell him that his brother was there? So that's the part I want to know. I don't know if you guys peep that. That's the part I want to know. Like, who was it? The message Belinda left that Zach heard, or was it the message that she called? Whoever she called gave him the message. Now I'm thinking, could she know Deja? Did Deja tell Zach where they was? But how would Deja know where Belinda lives? Because Belinda didn't give the person the address when she said his brother was at her house. So it almost seemed like she was talking to somebody that already knew where she lived. Now, I don't know absolutely who that could be. And if you guys didn't think about that part, just go back to it and you'll see what I'm saying. Now, I thought the episode was awesome. After Zach eventually finds out that Jeremiah is at Belinda's house, it's on and popping after that. Zach busts through the door. He clicks over the table. I'm like, wait a minute. When he was approaching Fatima, I was like, wait, what is he getting ready to do? It had me scared. I was like, this guy's on point with his acting. He had me nervous. I'm like, wait a minute. What is happening here? So after he gets upset about that, he now starts throwing chairs and everything. And to be honest, guys, I was happy he did that to Belinda's house because she is messy boots. And so the part wasn't meant this scene wasn't meant to be funny, but when he threw over that entertainment system, it was so funny because she was like, oh, I just did Belinda said, I just did my taxes and I was, trying to hook up my place and everything. And he was like, oh yeah, he just threw down there. Oh my God, that part was hilarious. Then you got Tony again stepping in to try to stop him. He flips Tony over. After that, it's done. He telling everybody stay the fuck away from him. Don't touch him. He is on a rampage. Finally, But let me just rewind to the part where let me just go back to the part where he approached Fatima like he was going to go up them stairs. And Fatima told him she wasn't moving. I bet you he came to his sister's senses then, because that was like, he bet you he didn't put her hands on her to move her. Like he said, don't make me move you. He didn't mean that, because Fatima was looking at him like, I'm not moving and you not moving me. And he sure didn't. So, but he did eventually get up the steps. And the funniest part is when he flew back down the steps. I don't know if anybody peeped that. They threw like a dummy down the steps or something. I was like, that part was hilarious. I was like, why they did that scene like that? That was a little, I was like, that looks stupid, but I get it. So after that, that is the end of episodes 7 and 8. Then you have to remember, guys, we have another, the other half of season 3. And I think for the other half of season 3, it'll basically be about ZAC being locked up and them trying to prove that he did it. That hurt Jeremiah or kill Jeremiah. I think that when we follow up for the next half, it'll just be based off of Fatima's pregnancy and what is going on with her in her life. And ZAC will be fighting the case to prove that he did not unalive his own brother. I think that maybe if Jeremiah is not in the next season, that is because he may have just overdosed or something like that, or maybe he'll be in the clinic, hopefully, because I do like Jeremiah on the show. So just stay tuned, people, for my next review that I'll be putting up of Sisters season 8 episode 2. I just put your comments below. Let me know how you like episode 7 and 8. And if you agree with my review, just stay tuned for more of my reviews. Will be Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays of the episodes on Wednesday and Thursday of Sisters and Zatima. I have a trailer coming up tomorrow of, I think I'll be reviewing Married to Medicine. So let me just see people first. But other than that, I would like for you all to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Stay tuned.